What's up, YouTube? Alright, so today in this video we're going to continue on with the whole flash thing. I get this question a fair amount. I just haven't really done a straight up video regarding it. I've done pseudo videos on it, but I haven't gone right into it. So I'm going to get right into it this time, just for you guys. So I get the question on my YouTube channel, on Facebook, various forums, email. What's the difference between TTL and manual flash? A lot of people shoot just straight auto TTL flash. They do their shots. Now, the issue, and they ask me, how do I do it? And I shoot manually. The problem is TTL flash uses the camera's metering. So for example, if you have your subject here, you're here, you have light coming from this direction, you're starting on this side, and you're shooting around your subject to get different perspectives and stuff, the metering and exposure is going to change in the camera, which is then going to change the flash output. When you're shooting in manual mode, once your settings are dialed in, it's not going to change. It's going to be consistent, given the subject to photographer distance. You know, as you work your way around, the flash output is going to be consistent across the board all the time. I'm going to show you quickly in my little humble studio here. And sometimes the differences with TTL adjustments are subtle. Sometimes they're way out of whack. We'll see what happens. But I promise you there will be a marked difference that you'll be able to see. And then I'll shoot the same thing in manual. And you'll see that it never changes. It's always the same once it's dialed in. So I guess all there is now, all there's left to do is just grab the camera, the flash, and let's go. All right, so here are the settings I'm going to shoot at. Let's see. Manual mode on the camera, f8, ISO 400 at 1/100th of a second. Let's fire up the flash and show you. I'm going to actually shoot in TTL. So there we go, TTL mode right there. Boom. All right, well, let's see how this fares. Going to be shooting Frida Frog here, my ever faithful model, and I have an LED panel light up over by the window just to simulate light coming in from over there. So I'm going to turn the lights down and let's get shooting. And the ambient noise you hear in the background is my loud furnace and the water heater. Unfortunately the door's broke, so I can't cover it up. It's just one of those things. Alright, so let's get into some TTL. Alright, and I'm going to do a wider angle here to simulate some of that light coming in. Alright, now I'm going to change the flash setting over to manual. Right there, manual, 1/2 power. Alright, let's go. Alright, so I've got these images loaded into a viewer. I didn't want any software modifications to happen to any of these images. These are the JPEGs straight out of the camera. On the left side got the TTL, on the right side I got the manual. So let's take a look at the TTL. Alright, now let's make this big screen. There we go. Okay, so we're going to be focusing around these areas here. Now you'll notice here it is kind of a yellow cast. Let's see what happens with the next one. Yeah, still slightly yellow cast. Now, if you look over here, actually look at the difference between this side and this side, right? It's a completely different exposure, actually. Yeah, it's not even close to the same thing. Yeah, wow. All right, and then remember, this is the TTL. And again, this is not quite the same either. So it is giving slightly inconsistent results. It's not something you can't easily fix in post, but it is inconsistent in regards to the coloring, right? This actually was a pretty good showing, except for the fact that I'm way crooked. But anyways,
Yeah, this was actually a good showing in regards to the color rendition. So this was actually good. It's actually good for TTL. So let's now go back and look at the manual. Make that one nice and big. So let's check out the consistency of the exposures. Pretty consistent. Pretty consistent. Good color rendition. This one's slightly off. Very, very slight. And that's just due to, because I was facing down, the bounce wasn't actually happening right up into the ceiling. It was slightly tilted back because I had the camera facing up a bit. But it's still more consistent than what was happening on the TTL image. Where's the TTL one? There we go. It's slight, but it is there. Slightly better. 75, there we go. Just a little bit more vibrancy, a bit more punch, a bit more consistency in regards to coloring. You can see it's a little bit brighter here, a bit more saturated. And let's bring this back. Right, and now look at this one. Again, very, very consistent, very good exposure. Let's take a look at the TTL. Yeah, so this is a pretty poor showing here with the TTL compared to this one, right? Yeah. I mean, you know, like I was saying, this was a good showing for TTL though. This one's actually really good. But there you go. So the difference between TTL and manual. TTL, you have to rely on the metering and the exposure being correct all the time, which changing ambient lighting and stuff like that. And if you look at the flash difference, I mean, look how much more flash had to come out in order to get this image compared to this one. Pretty big difference between the two. But that's pretty much it, really. So there you have it. I've got TTL and manual. If you want all your stuff to be pretty much consistent, then always shoot manual. If you're in a pinch and you just need to run and gun shooting your flash, then go ahead and take your chances with TTL. As I said, your mileage may vary. It may be subtle differences, as you saw on this one, or it may be remarkable differences, which thankfully we didn't have that issue with this. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below, and you guys will see me on my next video. I'm out.